Hey guys, Russian Dude again here. I'm gonna do a quick short tutorial about animating weapons in 7 Days to Die. A couple things I'm going to assume that you already know is how to actually add the weapons and models, custom models into the game, as well as XML editing. More things I'll also assume is you already know how to do general animation itself, but just are having troubles adding the hooks into the game. Uh, First things first is I'll go ahead and show you what you would usually see with the static weapon. No animation, you'll just see the animation of the gunfire. You won't see any of this actual slide moving. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and quit that, jump here into Unity, and you will see I already have my animations created, the fire and idle, as well as my controller. So first things you want to do with your controllers, you actually want to add it onto your prefab itself. Animator. And drag it over into there. Once you have that animator in there, and you already have your idle and fire position, or your idle and fire and what other clips you have input, you can go ahead and continue with the next part, which is adding the parameters. Here I already have the parameter added. If you wanted to add a new one, you could just add the type of parameter: float, integer, boolean, and trigger. In this case, we're going to go with the boolean. You'll go ahead and rename it to anything you'd like. Just note down the name. Once you set the parameter, you're going to go into the clip itself. You're going to go into the transition here to the left, to the right. A few things you just want to make sure you uncheck: has exit time and fixed duration. Everything else could be set the same, 0, 0, and none. At least for the idle, have it set to none. Then you'll go down here into the condition. You're going to, of course, you delete this. Add the condition. It adds it automatically. Shoot equals true. It may look backwards here, but this is a transition condition. So whenever shoot turns to true, which the parameter here is shoot, it will then transition into the next uh, clip, which is fire. From there, you're going to go into your fire clip, do the same thing. Remove has exit time, remove fixed duration. You can leave it as 0, 0. Then here, I usually set it the interruption source from the next state. You could set this to none. I'm by no means an expert in Unity or uh, modding here. I kind of just stumbled across this whole thing with the help of a few other modders. But I was able to get this to work, which is quite exciting. So here you'll add the condition in. By default, I think it sets it to true. So when you add it, make sure to change it to false. So whenever the parameter is set to false, it'll transition back into idle. So once you have that set and configured, you may notice if you go back into your prefab, and I've had to do some trial and error on this myself. When you go back into prefab, for some reason the clip count reverts back to 0, and to fix that, I literally toggle it on and off, and it updates it to have those clip counts again in there. And I've also noticed that the curve count, this doesn't get updated until you play the scene, and just toggle this on and off, make sure your animation looks right. Um, I don't know if these matter too much, but I do know clip count matters. So make sure you have that up to date. Once you have all that set, go ahead and save your prefab for your weapon, build the asset. So once you have the asset configured, you'll go into your item XML, and the trigger effects that we want to add will be these two. Whenever you click on the left mouse button, this will trigger the on-self primary action start, and the action will actually take that animator controller and set the Boolean state of whatever property you insert. So target's always going to be self. The property is going to be the parameter you set in Unity right here. And then the value you want to set in this case will be true. And then you do want an action end as well. So once the action is complete, it'll go back and set that animator boolean, that parameter, back to false into the idle state. So once you save that, you add those two lines. Go ahead and I'm going to launch 7 Days to Die again. So here we are in the game again. I did just replace the gun off camera. So when you shoot, you may notice the animation is there. It's fairly subtle, but it is there, and it is working. Go into perspective mode here. Back up. Yeah, it's a little hard to see. Yeah, it's a little easier when there's actually no ammo in there. Let's do this. There you go. So yeah, there's the animation. Seems to work fairly well for me. This is as far as I've gone on testing the trigger animator boolean set through XML edits. I am going to be playing with it a lot more and testing a few other things, but this is just to kind of get modders started on what hooks to use and how to use those hooks in Unity without a script. Because if most people who are actually experienced in Unity will know, you need to create a script for the animator controller. But again, because 7 Days to Die doesn't support scripts, we have to use this sort of roundabout method to add animations. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and in the forums. And enjoy zombie killing.